I'm here at Ray's. It's Women's Weekend right now, and I'm here with the Miss Cory Coffey. And I've got some questions for her, and we're just going to chat about BMX here real quick. So, you mentioned earlier how when you started there weren't really other female riders. So, compare that being in your shoes then to a girl today who's just starting riding. And, like, how do you feel about how things have progressed since then?
I mean, I used to be the only girl at the skate park. I would go around and I was the only girl. That's all I know growing up. And so now when I come to the park, there's so many girl riders, and I see these little young girl riders that can look up and see many, many girl riders taking laps. And what an amazing experience, and what an amazing foundation. Because all we had to look up to were dudes, and it's like guys in my mind riding are way different than girls riding. Like we're different, and so now I just think you're gonna continue to see. I mean, you've got young riders now that are just out there ripping. Like there's a young girl here named Lily, and she's got all these girls
10.
to look up to, and she's a shredder.
She's 10.
Like yeah, and she's unstoppable. But so that's just super cool. I mean, I just feel like the future is super bright, and it's amazing to be able to ride alongside those kids and just encourage them on and to show them like this is what it's about. And they're going to keep growing and growing and growing. And I think we're going to see things in the next few years, obviously, that we've never seen before. And yeah, start them young.
Absolutely. Did you follow the Olympics?
Oh, of course I followed that.
So,
yeah, very closely.
Did you, starting out riding, ever think that one day there'd be enough lady shredders out there to have 8 different countries riding together at the Olympics for BMX?
Right. I mean, I never thought that BMX Freestyle would make it to the Olympics. When I first started, BMX wasn't like an Olympic idea, but I obviously saw the momentum that was building and early a few years ago, but yeah, it's super cool to see BMX Freestyle make it into the Olympics, and it's mind-boggling, and it's so cool, like all these new tricks that are being unveiled, and yeah, it's rad. It's a good time.
Charlotte doing the 360 backflip and a front flip,
right.
Like, what did you think about the ladies category at the Olympics? Was it?
I mean, so I follow every single rider pretty closely. I'm very familiar with all these riders, and Charlotte's a really incredible rider, and she's got amazing tricks up her sleeve. I think she's got one of the biggest trick backs out of a lot of the women that are out there. But she's also just got amazing, unique tricks that she can do as well. And so I have to be, I mean, completely honest. I was really surprised to see her do that. A backflip 360, like that's pretty incredible. But at the same point in time, it didn't surprise me that she had that in the bag. Like she really nailed it on that. Really nailed it. And it was super cool to see her do a front flip in competition, especially at the Olympics as well, because, you know, I know a couple of the other riders that were out there on the course could do front flips as well, and they didn't. And, you know, maybe that's not part of their normal riding routine or whatever, but yeah, it was super rad to see Charlotte do that, and yeah.
There's something about watching someone put it all on the line,
Yeah.
Holding nothing back, and then having it work out.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's crazy. When Charlotte crashed in her first run, some riders could just be like done and like, all right, I'm not going to do anymore. But she did. She laid it all out on the line. But the cool thing that I respect about that is that that's what she was working on, and she was working towards that. And that was her day to do it. It was all or nothing. And I greatly appreciate that. And she friggin' nailed it.
Absolutely.
Very well deserved.
Right. So let's go back in time just a little bit. What was it like when you started riding, coming up through BMX in the years leading up to where we're at today?
Riding back in the day, I mean, I started riding in the late 90s out in California, and it's just all like me and my buddies in the neighborhood building dirt jumps and just having the time of our lives. And then growing up riding at the skate park, just being surrounded by a bunch of cool dudes, and yeah, really, really fun times. And now it's a lot different. I mean, everywhere I go, there's other women riders, and the progression keeps going up and up, and it's cool to see and cool to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I think one thing that stands out about you every single time I see you is that you're one of those people who is always smiling and just excited about riding every single time I see you, and I love that because I think that you're a great person that a female or any rider could look up to, and just like it's fun.
Right.
It's all about the fun. Did you compete or anything like that growing up through BMX, or was it just riding?
Yeah, so rode dirt jumps and then started riding at an indoor skate park called Skate Street in California. And yeah, I did do a couple of contests back in the day. They were the Law Revolution contests. And so I competed against the guys, and don't really remember what I ended up getting, but it was cool to compete. And that was a lot of fun. And then it wasn't until the early 2000s that we finally had like a women's only category. But I competed back in the day too, like at the UGP Roots Jam. And I always loved the vibes of the Roots Jam, and I seriously wish that we could bring something like that back. But yeah, super fun contests, and then started competing with women, which was really cool.
That sounds rad. What's BMX life like today for you?
BMX Life today, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I ride about 6 days a week. I feel the best I've ever felt on my bike, and I can't believe that I'm still riding at this point in my life. And so when I go out and ride, every single time I'm having the time of my life because I'm on two wheels and I'm having fun floating through the air, and that's cool, and that's why I'm always smiling, because I'm having the time of my life, and I want people to experience that same thing too. So
I think we can both agree on that one for sure. Where do you ride the most at?
So I have some ramps in my backyard. I've got a backyard set up that I ride maybe like 6 months out of the year when it's not covered in snow and ice. I'm here at Ray's a lot during the winter. I usually ride 2 to 3 times a week here in Cleveland. And otherwise I travel a lot and ride in other places during the winter.
That's awesome. So is there anything that you would say if a young person, she might be a lady shredder, might be a guy who's looking at getting into BMX, that you'd say getting into it to someone starting out? Is there anything you'd say to them?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing that I always say is just keep at it and keep practicing. You're not going to get good at BMX overnight. I mean, I've been riding my whole life, and maybe it shows sometimes, but maybe not. I mean, it's a lifelong thing, but I also am a big proponent of the pump tracks. So you're going to see more and more pump tracks popping up all over the world, and that's like my number one thing that I try to get people to do. So, you know, everybody started off BMX racing back in the day, right? And then got into skate parks. But now we have pump tracks, and to me it just teaches you the rhythm and bike control and learning how to steer, and it equates into all different types of riding. So if you're going to get into BMX, like, go out there, ride your bike every day, jump curves, build jumps with your friends, have fun on it, and try to ride some more pump tracks. But yeah, that's it.
I love it. So if somebody wanted to follow you online and see what you're up to, where could they find you?
They can follow me on Instagram at Miss Cory Coffey. That's my name.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Always.
It's been fun.
Later.